Table manners, the unspoken modus operandi of the dinner table. A thorough understanding of a culture's eating etiquette will empower you to adequately appreciate and enjoy your time in communion with its denizens. Join me as we embark together on a journey of gastronomical tutelage. Okay guys, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't have a British accent. My name is Driaan. I'm a Bright Trip contributor from Cape Town, South Africa. There's nothing worse than embarrassing yourself at a dinner party. So today we're going to be looking at table manners as they apply to parts of Southeast Asia like China, Hong Kong and Taiwan. I'm definitely not an expert in the subject, so I've asked Tina Long. She's a Taiwanese chef and owner of a dumpling delivery service here in Cape Town called Homebao. For this video, we'll be looking at a formal dinner as that's where your knowledge is going to be tested the most. Let's begin.
So if you get invited to a Chinese dinner party and then there's a whole bunch of people waiting to be seated, gathering around, you might find it a bit weird that why is no one sitting down, they're just standing around for the first 30 seconds. This is when the Asians are kind of like judging, okay, who's more important, where I fit into this hierarchy, and who should I sit after.
Honor and respect play a massive role in Chinese culture. Elders and special guests are due special treatment. Often you'll find this, a large, round 12-seater table with a lazy Susan in the middle. The most important guests are seated here, furthest away from the door. The approach to mealtimes are very communal. Everyone gets a bowl of rice, and this is the only thing you'll be served individually.
As Asians, you can't eat any dishes, without a bowl of rice. It's basically the basis. Even when the chef is designing the dishes, they take it into consideration that there is a bowl of rice. So when they add the salt or the soy sauce, it normally feels a little bit heavy-handed, or it's because it's meant to be eaten with the rice.
Communal dishes, like meat and veggies, are served into the center of the table, onto the lazy Susan. Once everyone's seated and everyone's got a bowl of rice and there's a few dishes on the table, the host will give the go-ahead for everyone to begin eating. Everyone will begin dishing bits of what they want, starting with the host and older people first. It's a good idea to use the turntable to turn the meat dishes towards that side of the table so they can dish first.
Make sure whenever you turn the lazy Susan that no one is making use of it. Chances are, if you're at a 12-seater, there's always someone busy dishing up for themselves. So what do you do as an outsider? You wait until the dish is in front of you and then you quickly dish.
If anything gets passed to you, receive it with both hands, for respect and stability reasons.
Oh yes, actually no, I remember now. Back in the Chinese dynasty, when you receive anything from the emperor, it's always with two hands and always above your head. I think my mom has, put such a fear of God in me that I have to do it, that even now, customers give me a credit card to tap and I'll go do this. And then they'll look a bit like, okay, she's very polite.
It's good manners to try a little bit of everything, but don't hoard the nice stuff. Also, if someone's offering you something, you should just accept it unless you're allergic. Don't use your own chopsticks to dish. Each dish should have its own dishing utensil. But if there's no dishing utensils, you can use the back of your chopsticks in a pinch, thereby sparing everyone your mouth germs.
Now you can pick up anything.
Chopsticks. I'm not going to teach you how to use chopsticks, that's what the back of the chopsticks wrapper is for. But there's a few things you should be aware of. Firstly, if you can, use your chopsticks with your right hand. But I'm left-handed and I refuse to change and I always get in trouble for it, so... Space in places like China, Taiwan, Hong Kong is limited, and when people are squished into tiny cafes, it ensures that no one bumps elbows with each other. Now, if there's one thing you remember from this entire video, never ever rest your chopsticks upright in your bowl. This reminds people of incense being served to the deceased, so it's a big no-no. It's also bad manners to rest your chopsticks crisscrossed or apart from each other. The correct place to rest your chopsticks is on the chopsticks rest. If you don't have one of these, your chopsticks wrapper will work in a pinch. Otherwise, you can rest it on top of your bowl. Resting your chopsticks to the side shows everyone that you're still busy eating, while resting it in the center shows that you're done. Finally, don't stab your food and don't point with your chopsticks. These are tools for eating, not fighting. So, some tips that might help you navigate the rice bowl situation. You're actually allowed to bring this quite close to your face when you're eating to minimize the risk of dropping something. And if you've got some sticky little grains left over in the bottom of your bowl, you can actually scrape them into your mouth with your chopsticks as opposed to trying to pick them up one by one. When it comes to noodles, people in China don't really twirl them around their chopsticks. Just bring those tasty noodles straight to your mouth.
Just make sure you don't slurp, just like any other noodles. I know the Japanese people love slurping their noodles. Unfortunately, this is not something you can do with the Taiwanese or the Chinese people.
If you do find yourself in very polite conversation and you want to minimize your slurpage, put a little bit of broth in your spoon, load it with noodles using your chopsticks, and enjoy your noodles in peace and quiet. Soups are usually one of the last dishes served in China. If you aren't given a clean bowl for your soup, make sure that there's no grains of rice at the bottom of your bowl because they will ask you to clean your bowl. For drinking soup, the obvious utensil of choice is your soup spoon. Slurping soup is considered very rude, and you shouldn't put too much soup into your spoon at once. Resist the temptation to lift your bowl, as your spoon should do all the work of getting the soup to your mouth. You can also bring your face quite close to the bowl to minimize the splash factor. When there's only a few drops left, you can lift the bowl to your face to finish it off. Tea is a big deal in China, and you will be drinking lots and lots of tea.
Tea drinking is not for thirst. It's more like an art and a culture. They often might give you a very tall teacup with a narrow head, and it's more for to sniff, to enjoy the fragrance of the tea. And then they have a wider one for drinking.
There's a rich history and tradition to serving tea in China, and we're not going to get into it. But if you do find yourself serving tea, just remember to serve your elders first and yourself last. And once again, when receiving a cup of tea, you have to do so with both hands. If you're sitting at a table and someone comes to refill your tea, you can say thank you by tapping your fingers on the table. This works for any kind of beverage. A great way to earn brownie points is to be the first to toast.
If you are at the bottom of the hierarchy, make sure that you start the toast. You know, after the first dish has been served, you line your stomach a little bit, start your toasting. So there's no way that there's someone who has a higher ranking than you will start the toast. You either thank them for treating you to this gorgeous gourmet meal, or if you are paying for the meal, you're toasting them to their health and for attending. It's showing a lot of respect.
If you find yourself at the bottom of the hierarchy, remember to toast with both hands and be careful not to raise your glass higher than your elders. Watermelon, cantaloupe, dragon fruit. Fruit usually signifies the end of the meal, which means it is time to pay the bill.
So never, ever ask for Go Dutch. Please don't. That is probably the worst thing you can do.
Usually the host will pay for everybody, or guests will fight each other for the honor of paying the bill.
No.
No.
No. No.
No.
No. No.
No!
No.
So it's a bit embarrassing, but you often see there's a Chinese restaurant where two grown men trying to fight each other for their wallet. The most polite way, you sneakily go pay and sort out the bill. It's quite easy to work out the total amount for the night right at the beginning. So when possible that you can go for a loo break.
Excuse me, where is the bathroom?
Go sort out the bill.
If you are at somebody's home, offering to help clean up is a great way of saying thank you. And that's it. Hopefully this helps you next time you're at a Chinese dinner table. Asia is a big place and customs are different everywhere, so keep an eye out for what everyone around you is doing. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to see us cover another culture's table manners, let us know in the comments. And if you love traveling and learning, check out a link to our courses in the description. BrightTrip exists to help you travel better. We've got courses that'll help you boost your language learning, learn adventure filmmaking, and there's even a full course on my beautiful hometown, Cape Town. Just look at this view quickly. Isn't that the craziest thing you've ever seen? Come visit me, guys. Shout out to Tina, Jonna, and Kone, and my wife Mimi for starring in this video, and we'll see you next time.